What's up? What's up? It's the Arthur Most Experience with Deke. I'm Arthur Moats, and that's my main man, Deke. Now, for the video crowd, y'all are looking and y'all are saying, hey, man, the setup looks a little different. It's only one person I'm seeing on the screen. The audio crowd might be asking themselves, hold on, baby. I haven't heard Deke speak back yet. And I'm sure there's some questions that are being had right now. All right, is Deke locked up? I'm putting my jewelry back on, man. I forgot to put my bracelet back on. All right, but is Deke locked up? The answer is no, he is not arrested. Got that covered. All right. The second question, is Deke late? No, he is not late. All right, we got that covered. Is Deke traveling the world, running off with a mistress or somebody famous? No, that is also not the answer. So, my dog Deke hit me up a little while before the show started, and he is under the weather, dealing with the flu. He wanted to give us that Jordan Game 6 extra, you know what I'm saying? He wanted to give us all of that. I told him no. I said, no, we don't need flu game, Jordan. We don't need any heroics from you, man. You take your time, you get them fluids in you, you rest and recover, and we gonna reconvene, hopefully next week once my man is back good to go. But that is what is going on with the homie Deke. So no, he is not locked up. No, Deke has not been replaced. It is not a next man up scenario. I thought about it though. I thought about hitting up Official Momentum, AJ Martinez, Steelers Girl 517, and Leah Warren, and just doing like a group show. But I was like, nah, we're going to keep everything as is. So the way we're going to do it is like how we always do. Let me know where you're tuning in from in the chat so I get a big boy shout out. And after that, man, we got to get it going because we have the game preview we going to talk about. Got to break down this Colts Steelers matchup. Now, I know we also said that Jaylen Warren was supposed to be pulling up at 4 o'clock. Now, we try to communicate on the front end that, Deke is under the weather to reschedule, but there is a possibility that that communication has not been reached on the other end. So, we might have that still going on today as well, but either way, we're going to find out together at the same daggone time. But like I said, man, let me know where you're tuning in from, baby, so I can get those big boy shout outs. Yeah, Donald Copeland, he needs a lot of that herb and tea, throw him some Vicks, all that good stuff, man. All right. So we got Mike Hood pulling up from the 614 Columbus in the house. Let's get it, baby. We also got Rod Dolly. He's a staple in this thing here. The 330 Youngstown, Ohio, share a line, baby. John M. is definitely the Space Talk vibes, baby. So you know how we're going to get after it today. But we got way more time. Because see, usually on the Space Talk, this post-game, I'm a little tired myself. You know what I'm saying? Get back to the fan. But today, oh no, we got time. Today, we got time. All right. Cosmo, Florida, says, big what's up from the 321. And you got the homie DD Smalls in the building. Says, from Sad Town with no Deke. I feel you on that, man. I don't even feel like I'm in the building when I like to be in the building for a podcast day. But either way, we're going to have fun with it today. All right. Jacob Malacio tuning in from the 919 North Carolina in the house as always. And he is galaxy surfing like a guy. And I like when you do that, baby. Because that's how it's supposed to be, Jay Flynn, the 330 Warren, Ohio, Dub City Slime. Respect, grind mind. Tuning in from Pittsburgh. It hurts, bro. It hurts. No, it does, man. And anybody that is out there dealing with the flu, COVID, the RSV, and anything else that's going on out there, man, y'all stay safe out there, please. All right, speedy recoveries. Thoughts and prayers to everybody. All right, got the lady in the house, Leah Warren. We just spoke her up to 254, Killeen, Texas. And the homie Berlin 92, who we actually got a chance to hear from when we opened up the phone lines the other day. Shout out to him, tuning in from the 817, Arlington, Texas. Yes, indeed. And Rod Dollar says, I got to research before I hit the grocery store. Facts. I definitely feel your pain with that one right there. All righty. So as we fly solo today, I thought it was only appropriate that I even put on my solo shirt. You see me right here, right? Little galaxy surfing action, man. Because today's show is brought to you by Into the AM. The people that are also, when it comes to just content creators, man, and just showing their support for us, the individuals that like to be creative, the guys that like to express themselves through these type of materials, stuff like that. And like we always say when we talk about a company, as this thing is in my face, because hey, wasn't expected to be a solo show, but it is a solo show. So here we are, baby. But get you 10% off when you use promo code Moats, or you just simply use the website, intotheam.com/Moats10, baby. But big time love for Into the AM, because like I said, man, you see the threads? Super nice, super comfy, and I like it. So, shout out to them right there. Alrighty. I'm over here multitasking today, baby. I ain't flew like this in a minute, man. I kind of like when I get to do my little solo act. All right, there we go. Making my little notes right there. So, we will start this thing off. Oh, I think we got some supers that came in here. Let me holler at the supers first, and then after that, we'll get into this first topic of the day. So, yes, indeed. All right, AJ Martinez, he says, much love to the lady in the picture with me, Grandma Betty, the meanest grandma ever, meaner than a rattlesnake. Her spirit and love for psychology has infiltrated my heart and mind. Thank you so very much. Miss you. Much love. Nah, man, absolutely, man. Much love to Grandma Betty, man. You gotta have one of them grandmas around for the culture, to keep you in line. So now we can definitely respect you and appreciate you for that. And then we got Corey Hewins, says the Bengals and Steelers game was my first NFL game, and I enjoyed every moment, even in the loss. The drive was long from Greenville, South Carolina, but I will definitely go to another game. Nah, that is love right there, man. I can respect that. And I'm glad that you had a good time, because the game was nuts, man. When you talk about the atmosphere out there, it was electric. Even though it wasn't as packed as normally is, it was still electric. You had that early day to nighttime vibe, so you got the primetime feel going as well. And there were some good moments for the Steelers, man, in the first half and the second half. Stuff that I can't wait to actually drop a film session too, man, later on, sometime this week, man. But just showing some more of the positivity that was coming out of that game, offensively and defensively, man. Some really good stuff as I went back and watched it again. But I'm definitely glad to hear that you enjoyed yourself and that you made it back safely, Corey. So shout out to you for that. All right. Next up, we got the homie Ryan McPherson. He says, Moats, how many Jordans do you have? Ooh, yeah. In terms of the Jordans, it's got to be up around like the 200-ish in terms of just Jordans exclusively, because I'm around 300, 330 is where I stopped counting at in terms of just total shoes. And I got some Nikes in here, got some Chucks, obviously, you know what I mean, some Reebok, some other type of Adidas as well. So yeah, just Jordans exclusively, probably in like that 200 range though, man. But I love my shoes. We can't never have enough shoes, man. Can never have enough of them things. And then we got King. He say, what up, Mo? Did you get that Kid Cudi NFL jacket off StockX? And are the patches stitched or printed on? I seen your other YouTube vid, and that jacket is raw. I want to get one, haha. Nah, man, shout out to you, King. So for me, I'm actually just a Kid Cudi fan. So when he dropped the jacket from his website, it was actually the draft. This would have been, was it 2 years ago? I think it was. COVID, it was like right at the beginning of COVID. This was this draft where Ryan Shazier walked on stage. That was when he first did the jacket release. I just bought it from the website directly from Kid Cudi's thing then. So yeah, I had no clue that it was on StockX. But in terms of the quality, man, it's a true traditional starter jacket, man. Like the quality is dope. Everything is stitched up there in terms of logos, like good quality stuff, man. Yeah. Nothing ironed on, man. Everything is stitched, or nothing printed on. Everything is stitched, but it's high quality, man. Definitely worth it if you're considering copping it. And it is very warm too, man. So I did like that. AJ Martinez. He says Moats and Deke Productions in conjunction with Don King Production. Oh, we back on our boxing tip. Okay. Proudly present. Parentheses. No Don King. The Blitz in the Berg. Leah Ward versus Trina. 12-round water balloon fight. Oh, all right. Leah Warren and Trina Still Diva getting at it. Nah, man. We're gonna save the Moats and Deke Productions. We're going to save them for right now because it is Thanksgiving coming up tomorrow, right? So we got to be thankful. We can't be thinking about our next big time production and our next big card. But we will get to that, though. We will definitely get back to that. And then Mike Hood also says, are we going to be patient and stay behind KP, or are we going to do him like the Jets did Wilson? Happy Thanksgiving and love to all. That is an excellent question, because for those that don't know, the New York Jets today said that they are going to be moving on from Zach Wilson in terms of him not being the starter this upcoming game. They're going to go with, Joe Flacco. I believe that's the quarterback back there. Yes, they're switching out quarterbacks over in New York. Obviously, Zach Wilson, a former top pick. I think it's his second year out there now. Yeah, so not a long time to show what he can do, but I do think it was more so, or it wasn't just on the field, it was also some of the stuff that was going on in the locker room. Apparently, from what they've been saying, is more so, just him losing the locker room and his leadership and stuff like that as well. But I don't anticipate that happening with Kenny just yet. First off, man, when I go back and watch him on tape, yes, he did have some bad misses. Like, I get it. But at the same time, he has some really impressive stuff as well that he did. And when you're talking about the sample size for Kenny in particular, like we said, man, 7 games. It's not a long time for him, but we have seen some really promising moments, along with some moments where you're just like scratching your head. But the really promising stuff is what's encouraging, because anybody can go out there and play bad. Anybody can go out there and make mistakes. That's like the guarantee given for all rookies. They're going to have bad plays. But you want to see who are the ones that can actually make plays. Think about George Pickens, right? He had a drop right in the game. We didn't care, right? Why? Because he also had big time plays in that same game. So you could see, yes, we would have wanted it to be more consistent, but you could definitely see where, the productivity is there and the potential is there to be an elite caliber player for George Pickens. Now with Kenny, same thing could be said, not to necessarily the elite quarterback status, because that takes just a lot more consistency and a lot more of those elite caliber throws and stuff like that. But you can still see some of the foundation where he has made these plays, and he's done enough of those plays in the short term right now where you can at least feel like you can build this out. And that's, when you're talking about a young rookie quarterback, not even 10 games into his career, you wanted to at least be to that point. And I feel like we do have that. It's just different for us because timetable wise, we're looking at it from a season standpoint. And we're like, man, this thing been going on for a while. But for him exclusively as a player, he has not been out there that whole time. So, that's part of the thing as well, man. All right. Let's see. And then we got King spinning about. Oh, and also happy Thanksgiving to you as well, and everybody in the chat, man. From the heart. King also says, okay, cool, thanks. Also, that Pirates hat with the red heart. Where you get that? My man got the whole, give me right there, baby. He says your drip is hard to ignore. No, man, I greatly appreciate you. And honestly, man, I put on all that stuff because I want y'all to notice it, man. And if it's something that you like, man, I'm more than willing to share. I am not one of them people that get something dope and be like, nah, man, I don't want nobody to know where I got this from. Nah, sharing is caring, baby. So the hat that you saw, the Pittsburgh one with the little heart, is from Culture Kings, man, the A-frame. So go up there on Culture Kings, you can check them out, and you'll see what it is, baby. But nah, man, major love to you, King. Let's get it. Alrighty, so man, let's hop into this first topic of the day. And, whenever we start our Wednesdays off, we always like to start looking into that upcoming opponent, the ops, as we like to say, before we spin the block on them. All right, so obviously we got the Colts this weekend, man. And like we typically do, we like to break it down to likes and don't like. So in the chat, we shall start with what we like about this Colts team. So drop 3 things that you currently like about this Colts team in the chat. And then after that, once I talk about what I like about them, then we'll turn it over and read what y'all guys like about them. All right. So, for moi, I like this thing right here, man. Y'all got it messed up now. Got me in here on my solo thing. Hey. And staying clear, man. Hey, Deke, he got that flu thing, man. Spread the word in the chat, though. Spread the word. He's not arrested. All right? He's not arrested, and that's the most important part. Because we've had this conversation, we've had this scare before, and I feel like since this is the first time that we're back on as a solo without him since that last time, I do got to emphasize that. So no, Deke is not incarcerated. No, Deke is not traveling the seven seas looking for all the pleasure that he could find. Nor is Deke at a function. He's chilling at home, recovering because he's currently down with the flu. But that's the homie. That's our dog. We sending him all our well wishes his way. All right. Oh, and hit that like button too while y'all at it too on the stream, and subscribe if you have not done so as well. So, talking about this Colts team, and like I said, man, drop 3 things that you do like about this Colts team in the chat. For me, the first thing is this, man. I think they are a very inspired bunch. We obviously knew that they had transition, firing their head coach, offensive coordinator, and just kind of, going through a lot of transition. At one point, even benching Matt Ryan. But since Jeff Saturday has come out of the analyst chair and put on that coaching hat and has come into that roster now in that locker room, and you could just see them playing a lot more inspired. You can see how it matters a lot more to them when you're watching them on film. Some of the effort in terms of them running to the ball, some of their effort in the sense of their blocking. It just looks like they're playing with more passion. Whether it was the game against the Raiders where they actually were able to win, that was Jeff Saturday's first game 2 weeks ago. And just seeing how they looked different, more committed. Like I said, just playing like it mattered again. Like, that was good to see. And then obviously they lost to the Eagles, but even with that game, man, they led up until 1 minute and 24 seconds left in the game. And it takes essentially, back-to-back plays, and now, boom, Jalen Hurts finally hits you with the QB draw to go ahead and get the go-ahead score and stuff like that. But you can just see that this is not the same team from a month ago, and it is largely because of just the effort that they're playing with. It's not perfect. They still have some turnovers. They still give up some explosive plays. They still have some penalties and stuff like that, and they still struggle with protection at times as well. But you can just tell how much harder they're playing, how much more passion they're putting into this thing. And that is something that I think is a benefit for them. The second thing that I like about the Colts team is their 2 young, talented offensive skill players, and Jonathan Taylor and Michael Pittman Jr. They obviously have young, talented players. We talk about a Quentin Nelson. Obviously, they drafted, was it, oh my goodness, I'm drawing a blank on his name. Bernard. Is it Bernard Ryman? I think I say that right. Yeah, I'm butchering his last name. But let me pull him up just so that way I can give him his due respect when I mention him. Bernard. There we go. I was going to say Bernard Raymond. Bernard Raymond. Yeah, but obviously he's another young, talented player. Alec Pierce, young, talented wide receiver. But to me, the 2 guys that stand out the most and that I like the most on that offense, Jonathan Taylor and Michael Pittman. I think that both of those 2 guys are top tier at what they do. And when you talk about Jonathan Taylor, he's clearly a top 3 running back in this league. When you talk about Michael Pittman Jr., he has all the characteristics to be a top 10 type wide receiver. It's just more so you just got to see more of it and the consistency and stuff like that. But I think both of those guys really helped this offense out. When you talk Jonathan Taylor, we know he was a 2,000-yard rusher, or essentially that a year ago. And even this year, hasn't necessarily been the same level of productivity. Part of that has been because of this offensive line and some of the craziness that's been going on. But when he is going in these past 2 weeks, they've been featuring him a lot. They've been running their offense through him a lot. And you can just see how it's opened up so much more for them because of his ability to run that ball, get some of the tough yardage, and just his overall explosiveness. But then when you talk Michael Pittman Jr., I mean, watching the Eagles game, the Eagles run a ton of man-to-man coverage, man. And they got good corners. We saw that firsthand. Darius Slay and James Bradbury. Man, they could not consistently shut down Michael Pittman. He was just one of those guys that was able to get open, get nice yardage after catch, and really put that Eagles defense in some binds at times because of how talented he was, or talented he is. So that's the second thing that I like, man, in terms of Jonathan Taylor and Michael Pittman Jr., those 2 young, talented offensive players that they have, even with some of the inconsistencies that's been going on their offense, even at quarterback, switching those guys out. When those 2 guys are healthy, in terms of Jonathan Taylor and Michael Pittman Jr., man, they are talented. And then the third and final thing that I like about this Colts team is the homie Stephon Gilmore, the former Defensive Player of the Year, because he's still playing at a Pro Bowl caliber level. He's still that top-notch man-to-man corner. He's going to follow your guys around. You watched them last week, man. He followed A.J. Brown around. AJ Brown had some plays, but as a whole, man, Gilmore, he still was doing his thing out there, man. He's been doing that for a large majority this season, even helping them win a game with some of his late game heroics. So when you watch him, he's one of those guys that I anticipate potentially following around a George Pickens, because to me, Deontay has definitely, he wins a lot at the line of scrimmage, but he's not necessarily he hasn't been giving us the big deep play action that we've seen from George Pickens in the short term. And Gilmore's one of those guys that he's going to want to follow that type of player around. So I'm excited to see how that matchup goes. But to me, man, Stephon Gilmore, he's one of those dudes, physical corner, very fundamentally sound, smart, obviously has a nose for the ball, and he's high pedigree, man. So he's definitely that last element that I like about this Colts team as a whole. All right, so let me go over here into the Chizad and see what y'all said. Y'all like the 3 things that y'all were liking about Colts. And just 3 things. I know some of y'all some secret Colts lovers in here. All right, we won't need all that energy today, but if y'all got that energy, we'll allow it. All right, so we got Chris Robles. He says he likes the defense and the special teams along with the running game. I could agree with that, man. Yeah, they're consistent enough in terms of the kicking game. At least in that last game against Philly, I haven't checked to see for the full season how well their special teams is played, but no, they do got some good stuff going on with that. I like that. All right. Let's see. John Easton. He says Jeff Saturday, the new head coach, along with Jonathan Taylor and their defense. Yeah, their defense I like, but it's very unique to me. And y'all don't mind me drinking on my Chick-fil-A cup, all right? It was early release day. All right, so when it's early release day, we like to take the kids to get Chick-fil-A. So we got some Chick-fil-A today, and as y'all can see, I'm still drinking on this fire lemonade. Who knows? Maybe one day I get a Chick-fil-A sponsor, huh? But either way. But yeah, going back to this defense, man, they're very unique, man. I do think they have some talented players over there. Obviously, they're a little banged up. No Shaq Leonard. But yeah, their defense is weird when I watch them, because they look like they could be really good and fly around, and then other times you see them give up some yardage, give up some plays and stuff. But I could definitely dig that. I like your energy, John Easton. I like that. All right, Rod Dollar's in the house. He says Jonathan Taylor is the first thing he likes. Number 2, Kenny Moore. Hey, now you speaking to me. And then after that, he went with the big man in the middle, DeForest Buckner. Now, DeForest, man, ever since he's gotten out there, man, he's been looking really good. So I definitely like that. I like your mindset, baby. I like it. Kenny Moore, man, he's a good player. He definitely is. All right. And, okay, Leroy. Yeah, Leroy says he likes the defense, like Jonathan Taylor, and then Paris Campbell. Yeah, Paris Campbell is another one of those guys for me. When you're talking about them offensively, he fits what they do really well. When you talk about the complement of a Michael Pittman to a Paris Campbell, and then obviously to an Alec Pierce, man, the play action game, the ability to have the run after, it's just, you have a different dynamic with all those guys. And when Matt Ryan does have time, I feel like he does utilize them in a really positive way. But the time part has been the bigger issue, because if there's no time, Matt Ryan has zero mobility. But I definitely like your energy right there, Leroy. I definitely like that, man. All right. And then I'll end it on my man Jason Hess. He says Jonathan Taylor's the first thing he likes, the defense the second thing, and the third thing, they are playing motivated with Jeff Saturday as the coach. 100%. All right. So, with that being said, let's go to the we don't like. So, now in the chat, drop those 3 things that you do not like about these Indianapolis Colts. Just 3, all right? I don't need 4, I don't need 7, I need 3. And if you drop one thing, I'm going to call you a Colts lover, so don't do that today. But let's see what we get. So for me, as I take another sip of my tasty beverage. So the first thing that I don't like about this here Colts team, Matty Ice, I have to say it's you, man. But Matty Ice, I am not a fan of you right now, man. It's one of those things where when I watch Matt Ryan play, now obviously they pulled him and then they brought him back once Jeff Saturday got back out there, and I think that was the right thing. I don't think you pull a Matt Ryan regardless of how bad this season is getting. Very similar to what we would talk about Ben Roethlisberger last year. It's like, man, you're not pulling that guy, man. those guys have earned the right to play the full season, regardless of how good or bad it gets. But with Matt Ryan, the thing that I don't like is this. When he has his time, he can still throw a beautiful ball, man. It was some times in that Philadelphia Eagles game where he was able to make some nice plays to Michael Pittman, to Alec Pierce, and even to Paris Campbell at times. Like, he was doing some nice stuff. But the problem is he has zero mobility. And this offensive line, it is just not good enough right now for that type of player. So when you watch him, it's just like, man, it's so easy to get him flustered at times. And as soon as that happens, or he has to move his feet, his accuracy goes down. He becomes a liability at times at the quarterback position watching him. So when I think of that, even though it's not exclusively his fault that happens, because like I talked about, the offensive line is a part of it, but at the end of the day, until that offensive line plays more consistently, that is going to continue to be a theme. And when you watch how Philadelphia was able to get after this Colts offensive line, I anticipate the Steelers being able to do a lot more because of the talent that we have and the way that our players have been playing. So that is why, for me, I have Matt Ryan as the first thing that I don't like. And you know, I'm a Matty Ice dude. Like, that's a good dude right there, man. I likes him, man, but I can't roll with him this week. Nah. All right. Now, the second thing that I don't like, and this is going to sound a little crazy, I don't know, man. I'm not the biggest fan of their pass rush, bro. Like, yes, when you look across their players, they have numbers, right? When you talk about DeForest Buckner, yeah, I think he has 4 sacks. When you talk about Grover Stewart, the other interior D line, I think he has 3 sacks. Then when you go into the outside, Yannick Ngakoue, I think he's around 5. And Yannick, man, he obviously is explosive, but Yannick is still the run around the hoop type of guy, right? In terms of just speed, he hasn't, to me, gotten to that point where you're fearing multiple things. I still think that he is mainly just the speed rusher, and it's still good for him. But when we're talking about when he's played against us in Pittsburgh, even with our current tackles, that speed rush that he likes to use consistently has not produced the same type of results. Now, I do like Kwity Paye, but he's questionable right now. So that'll be the one that, you know, I think has the ability to consistently give you some issues. But as a whole, I don't know. When you look at how our rush is when we're clicking, when you look at the Philadelphia Eagles when they're clicking, when you look at the Buffalo Bills when they're clicking, to me, this Colts D line isn't, or this Colts pass rush isn't on that caliber. And yeah, I think we'll be able to handle them, man. Or at least I hope so, depending on which version of our offense line shows up, though. So yeah, make sure I, hopefully they don't make me look crazy by giving them a lot of confidence, right? Because I am really thinking that this is a matchup that we should do fine in that aspect. But then the third and final thing that I don't like about this Colts team is just their inconsistency up front. Their offensive line play this year, it's uncharacteristic, man. They have new pieces, obviously. New left tackle in Bernard Raymond, the 3rd round draft pick out of Central Michigan. Y'all remember we talked about him during the pre-draft process. One of the guys that we were considering potentially, hey, man, with the Steelers drafting because we need some offensive line help. Good player, but he is a rookie. And it looks like a rookie looks. Some plays he looks like he is going to be your stalwart franchise left tackle, pay him $100 million. Other times, he looks like a rookie. Turnstile. Getting beat inside, outside, or right over the top. That's just how rookies are at times, man. The consistency has not been there when you watch him. Also, when you talk about Quentin Nelson, I mean, he's all world, but he even at times has struggled this year, and it's just really uncharacteristic when you're talking about that offensive line, because usually, I mean, this is a group that should be top notch, but as a whole, it just has not been there enough. And that's a big reason why Matt Ryan has looked as bad as he's looked at times, because of the pressure that he continues to be under. When you talk about the run game not being as efficient as it needs to be, a large part of that is also because of them not getting consistent movement, not sustaining blocks, and they're having penalties as well, man. So it's been a lot, of just inconsistency across the board as it pertains to the Colts offensive line. So that's why they're the third thing that I don't like. So once again, to recap, that Matt Ryan is the first thing I don't like. Their pass rush is the second thing, and then offensive line play from them is the third and final thing. And look at that, man. Even though Deke isn't here, we still got his freaky bots trying to pull up and keep us company. Now, under normal circumstances, I would kick him out. I thought about letting him stay so we could feel closer to Deke. But then again, I was like, yo, they freaky bots. We don't want no freaky bots in here, so we're going to get them up out of here real quick. All right. And then after that, I'm going to get to your, to the 3 things that you all don't like about this Colts team. All right, so now that the freaky bots have left the building, thank you very much. Let's get to the 3 things that we do not like or that y'all do not like. All right. AJ Martinez went on a Rizant. Shout out to him. He says, number 1, the coach. Number 2, the defense. And number 3, the running game. Number 4, the offense. Number 5, the kicker. Number 6, the cheerleaders. And number 7, I don't know anything about the Colts, but it's one we need to win. And it's one that we should win as well. We just have to take care of business. All right. All righty. All right. Now we did have Ryan McPherson come in with what he does not like. And he says, I don't like their jerseys. The underperformance of Jonathan Taylor this year and Matt Ryan's inability to run. Now, you're right there. Now, personally, I kind of dig the jerseys. They kind of boring with the horseshoe logo. I get it, but I don't know. It's just kind of like it works for them to me. I don't know why. But the underperformance of Jonathan Taylor, yeah, part of that has been on him. The other part, like I said, has been on this offensive line and obviously even the coordinator to an extent, which is why they even fired him before they fired Frank Wright a couple of weeks ago. So, yeah, and then Matt Ryan's inability to run. That is a very, very nice way to put it. Yes, his inability to run or just no ability to run. It is, yeah. He running in mud and quicksand and sand and water with boots on and a weight vest. In prison shackles. It's bad. Yeah. All right. Let me see. We got some others that came in here. Leroy said he doesn't like their offensive line and Matt Ryan, but he says that's about it. Mike Cook, he says they're our opponents. That's the first reason why he don't like them. Shout out to that. Draw the line in the sand. Let them know where you stand, baby. Yes, sir. Number 2, the offensive line. And number 3, their offensive line. The offensive line has been a weak spot this year for them. Rod Dallas bringing it in right here with Matt Ryan. Then he says the linebackers. And then after that, their pass blocking. I love it. Now, number 2, when you talk about them linebackers, yes, we got to talk about them. Because, yeah, since Shaq Lawson has been out, they're a different dynamic right now. They're a different unit. Still got some good players in there. But as a whole, they're missing that X factor. I'm going to butcher his name, but Bobby Okereke, I think that's his head. But he is number 58. Yes, number 58. He's nice. I like him a lot. He's already been there, though. He was the guy that was playing with Shaq Leonard, 3rd round pick out of 2019. Really good player. I like him a lot. The guy that has had to play more since Darius Leonard has went out has been Zaire Franklin. That's number 44. Still a good player, special teams captain for them, but captain for them. But the thing with Zaire, man, he's just not Darius Leonard. So when you talk about Darius's range, his ability to create turnovers and splash, Zaire does not give you all of those things. So I could definitely understand why you would say the linebackers, Rod Dollars. Oh, and Jay Flame, Shaq Leonard is Darius Leonard. He changed his name this offseason, and that's what he goes by, Shaquille Leonard. So, yeah, that's what we got to call him, Shaq Leonard. But, yeah, I'm with you, man. I am with you. And they say make sure you're hitting them likes for the culture. All right, so let's see what we got over here in the Super Chat world. Oh, there we go. Got the homie Sean McCartney pulling up. Shout out to you, Sean McCartney. We do appreciate your support. He says, you know my feelings with Deontay Johnson. Yes, this is true. We do know your feelings and Jacob feelings. Not a lot of positive feelings towards that man. I get it. But he says, how do you feel about getting a wide receiver next offseason? I feel we should go free agency instead of draft for a veteran. If we do go to replace wide receiver, I too share that same sentiment. I do like the idea of bringing in a veteran because talent isn't necessarily the issue of wide receiver. We have a George Pickens. He's elitely talented. You're going to get a Calvin Austin coming back next season. He's talented. Deontay, talented. The problem is we don't have that alpha, that veteran leader, the guy that you look to say, man, when things are getting rough, what do we do here? When they're playing me this way, how do I respond to that? When we have this going on, how can I lean on you? Or who can I turn to and ask certain things? That is where the veteran does come to play. And it does need to be somebody that is a good veteran player, because the respect has to be there, not only for them off the field, but what they can do on the field. So I would be open to something like that. I think that would make a lot of sense. Not just at wide receiver, but even offensive line. We brought in James Daniels, but he's technically not that like veteran who's been proven, been a guy, been a leader of a unit to that extent. So yeah, and part of our offensive issues, as I've talked about before, I do feel like stems from a lack of a veteran leader on the offensive side of the ball, even going all the way up to the coordinator position. There is no proven veteran that they can just turn to that's going to consistently give them what they need, both on the field and when they're off the field. So I definitely like that. All right. AJ Martinez says, sabotage 7. Temporarily sabotage Deke. Absolutely. It's temporary sabotage podcast. Absolutely, man. There are sabotaging podcasts. They're going flu. How you going to get the flu? How the flu going to be giving out? You know, flu. Stay to yourself, flu. We don't need you giving that to anybody else around here. All right? Stay over there. Jeez. I don't want none of that flu stuff. Get right, Deke. Blessings to the Diggler. Facts. I should have asked him when we were talking this morning on the phone. Hey man, when you got this flu, like, you still got the taco meat out, or you put the taco meat away because you like trying to bundle it up? I don't know. But yeah, man, that flu is no joke, baby. No joke. Ryan McPherson says, Moats, do you think Matt Ryan was sabotaged before Jeff Saturday? Yes. Because they were not doing things to complement his game. And what complements his game? Running the ball consistently and play action pass. When you look at that offense now, they run the ball, they play action pass. And when they do want to do traditional drive back, it's out of the gun. But they are not asking those guys to just sit there and protect. It looks like an offensive lineman that understands the struggles that the offensive line could have and how to offset them is at the wheel. And it looks like that, and it's a good thing for Matt Ryan and for Jonathan Taylor. I think both of those guys have benefited largely from Jeff Saturday and this new approach, this new mentality that he's implemented with those guys. Barilla 92. He says, the chin gonna be punching air if we drop this one. Yeah, man, we can't drop this one now. No. Because first off, this is a team that we already felt like we should be beating, okay? Before we even knew about anything else going on, this was a game that we were like, hey, on the backside of the bye, we got to have this one, okay? Same way we're going to look when we talk about Atlanta, when we talk about Carolina, we'll be, we got to get this one, this is one of them ones, okay? So, that's the first thing. The second thing is this, man. They fired their head coach and coordinator. We talk about not firing the coordinator because of how crazy and chaotic that could be for Kenny Pickett, for this offense, and for this team as a whole. And that's a coordinator. They did coordinator and head coach. Man, we better not allow them to get this dub on Monday night. Nah, baby. Can't happen. So, I'm with you on that. I am definitely with you. And Coach Tomlin does not lose in prime time. Not to interim head coaches. Undefeated against interim head coaches in prime time. I don't know how many interim head coaches in prime time he's played, but either way, he's undefeated. All right, so let's roll. And then Ryan McPherson also said, oh, no, we already had that one. AJ Martinez, he says, Moats, it's kind of quiet and strange without Deke, the podcast. Glad he didn't go with 7 laughing bad joke he is missed. Oh, man, it's all love, baby. No. We like all your jokes, AJ. You know that. But yes, I am glad, too, that he is still a part of the family, you know? But either way, man, it's always going to work out. Man, that's the thing. You got to control what you can control. Hey, when you're thinking it's going to be this and it's not, you just pivot, going to the next thing. You're thinking it's going to be that. All right, bet we're going to go to the next thing. Or in the words of my guy, Bruce Lee, be like water. We just flowing, baby. We just being like water. Then we got Damon Brown. He said, what's happening, everyone? Will I see you and Deke Monday night in Indy? Shout out to Trina and AJ Martinez. Salute. So wait a minute. You're going to the Colts game on the road? Holla. I like it. I like it. I will not be in Indy on Monday. In fact, I will be. Oh, I'm back in Pittsburgh? Yeah, I'll be back in Pittsburgh right then. But yeah, I'll be getting off the road. So yeah, I will not be getting off the road to go back on the road to Indy. No, I won't be there. But I'll space talk with you. So if I don't see you when I see you, at least I'll pull up on you on the space talk post game, all right? So we can at least reconvene there. All righty. So I like that. So yeah, man, let's go ahead and hop on to this next thing. Because I was trying to see too if we were going to get any update on Jaylen Warren. Because as I said, we were teasing it last episode about him being on today. But then obviously no Deke because Deke got the flu. So we tried to communicate that we were going to reschedule it. I don't know if that communication was properly communicated though. So if he does call, we're going to find out at the same time. I'm going to find out when y'all find out. And if he calls, we'll roll with it. But if he don't call, then we won't roll with it, all right? But either way, that's how it's going to be today. So we can go ahead and transition to the next thing while we wait to see what happens at this 4 o'clock time. But this is where we like to talk, obviously, advantages, disadvantages, and some more just hyper focus on the matchup itself. And if y'all have any questions about the match, we already know, drop that thing in the chat, man, so we can get those questions answered. Oh, and see, just so you know, I was missing my dog Deke. So today is a special show because not only did we have the first sponsor into the AM, but we're gonna have a double sponsor today. And I almost forgot that because my partner wasn't there next to me reminding me. So let me go ahead and get ready to talk about this next sponsor of the day. Because you can never have enough of them, right? But here we go. Manscaped. That is the sponsor for today's show because they are the leaders in below the waistline grooming. And with Thanksgiving being here, we all should be thankful for our dangly twins and all the friends to said dangly twins. But it's important that we take care of them and groom them and make sure that they are properly taken care of for good hygiene. All right. And the best way to do that is with the Lawnmower 4.0, which is a phenomenal grooming instrument. Okay. But then you also, when you're talking about that Lawnmower 4.0, how it's waterproof, which you love, how it has a light on it so you can see in the dark, or when it's light out, you can turn the light off. You got options with that thing. And it does greatly reduce the chance for nicks and cuts because we don't want any of them. But when you also look at Manscaped and all the other products they have for just hygiene and self-care, this is where you want to be. But more importantly, when we talk about why you want to be there, is because we got a promo code. And what's that promo code? Moats. You use that, you get 20% off along with free shipping worldwide. It is beautiful. It is beautiful. So trust me, be thankful for your dangly twins and show them by getting you some of this Manscaped, baby. Holla at the boys. All right. So, now that I remembered the second part of today's sponsor, now I'm good to go. Oh, and I see we got some more folk up in here. Let's see. AJ Martinez, he says, Damon Brown, Trina, just showing some love. Back, respect. Sean McCartney also says, Deke, early Thanksgiving break, playing Madden. Man, I hope he is getting back. I need my dog to get back up on his feet. Yeah, that flu is no joke. And I don't want none of that either, man. So we gotta make sure that we taking our time with this thing, man. But hopefully he is not down for too long. All right, Anton Patterson. He says, if Arthur Milet is starting, I'm shutting the game off. Give the offense real plays for 4 quarters. Let the team play for contention and not a draft pick. The opposing teams notice and so do fans. Interesting take right there. Yeah, man. So Arthur Milet is definitely gonna be out there though, man. Just throwing it out there. He's definitely gonna be playing, man. I get it because going back and watching the tape, he lost a ton of those 50-50 balls, man, and they targeted him a lot. that was definitely their guy where they said, hey, if we're going to throw the ball, we're going to try to get him in the action. Some of it, obviously, we saw some of the completions, but there were even some incompletions where if it wasn't for a pass rush, a little bit of an errant pass, yeah, it could have been a lot worse at times, man, just from a coverage perspective. But Arthur, he's still, like I said, we know that's the area where he struggles at, and that's why when we're fully healthy, he typically is the guy that comes off when we're really going to be in those obvious pass situations. He's more so the guy that you want to use when it's run support and stuff like that, because of how physical he can get, and he can definitely do some of the coverage stuff. But you just know when you have him facing a T. Higgins, a Tyler Boyd, some of these upper echelon guys, he is going to struggle. And when you're talking about the Colts on offense, I would anticipate them trying to do similar things. I know if I'm, coaching the Colts and I'm watching this Steelers defense right now on tape, that's the weak link right now when you're talking about passing the ball. I think, he's one of those guys that they're going to try to get Michael Pittman Jr. in the slot on him. They're going to try to get, your Alec Pierce in the slot on him and stuff like that, because that's a matchup that they're going to feel very confident in. But for Arthur Maulet, that is the NFL, and he understands that. They're going to keep attacking you until you prove that you can stop it, or they're going to take you off of that field. So for Arthur, man, I think it's one of those scenarios where he's going to bounce back. I don't think that he'll have another performance like how it was last week, where it was just constantly, giving up the 50-50 balls. Because some of that stuff, I'm like, yo, all right, T. Higgins, yes, you're good for this, but the other stuff, I'm like, man, you're getting every break today. I don't anticipate that being the case again on Monday, but for Arthur Maulet, he has to finish those plays better if he wants to stay out there on some of those downs, because otherwise it just kills you when they're able to go there that many times and make those type of plays. But y'all know, man, big Arthur Maulet guy over here, man. That is the homie right there. Big love. And Richard Stone, I would have had you on the Chef Moats episode, man. I like to get my cook on, but it's just been a crazy November. Literally, I think I've been on the road every weekend in November. And I don't even like to travel like that, So it's been a lot going on. All right, and I'm back on the road again this weekend. So, yes, have not had a chance to, but I don't know if you've been on the website lately, arthurmoats.com. Definitely want to check that thing out. We do got new aprons up there too, though, man, because I'm an apron guy along with the chef coat guy. I needed some versatility, man. So, yeah, I'm going to be up that thing, man. Once I get some free time, you will see yours truly back in that grilling it, smoking it, grilling it. You know how I do. I might even have to cop in that thing until wifey slide over and get into like the regular kitchen too. I don't really be liking to do that too often. I'm gonna bump her over like, hey baby, chill out. All right. So I got you, man. We also got AJ Martinez. He says, Deke update? ? NyQuil down and out, I assume. Yeah, I have not followed back up with Deke since he gave me the information and we chatted for a little bit to make sure that he was good, but at the same time that he could rest, because he was trying hard. This dude, man, he's like, nah, man, I can't miss the day, man. Nah, we got Jalen, man. We were supposed to have him the week before, man. I got to be here. I'm like, yo, I'm with you, but you got to be healthy. Your health is more important than the interview, than this show, than anything else we got going on, man. So you got to take care of yourself. So hopefully he is on that NyQuil and is relaxing and feeling a lot better. Because yes, anybody that's dealt with the flu, COVID, or anything else, man, that's out there going on right now knows that it could be very, very challenging on you at times. AJ Martinez also says the Into the PM discount is nice. I like it. Little play on Into the AM, but shout out to both of them for the culture. Use the promo code Moats, and y'all already know what it is. AJ Martinez also says, in the words of Motley Crue, knocked dead kid. Shout out to 22 guarding the road through the Colts D. 125 yards, 2 touchdowns. Najee thrashes Indy. Let's go. Now, in terms of running the ball and stuff like that on this Colts defense, because of no Shaq Leonard, the artist formerly known as Darius Leonard, they have been a little bit lighter on the inside at times, man. I do feel like he does a good job of just making some plays for them sideline to sideline, or his ability to create the turnovers. We talk about the quote unquote peanut punch, as TG likes to call it, Terrence Garvin. But Darius Leonard, man, he made their run defense a lot better, I felt like. And they're still a good unit, but it's just different when you don't have him out there. But But when you're talking about Najee, I do feel like if he continues to run the way that he was last week, that could be on the table. He has some really impressive runs out there versus the Bengals last week. Even some of the stuff that didn't necessarily go for an explosive play, some of the 3-4 yard or some of the 4-yard runs that he picked up, which is good to see, like the vision, the grinding it out and stuff like that. Plays like that is stuff that can carry over, stuff that can transition. And I do feel like that will, if he continues to have that mindset, that could definitely continue to improve. But we also need this offensive line to continue to block like that as well. I thought that offensive line, tight ends, receivers, I thought everybody across the board was blocking. And then we even were getting some positivity from the Matt Canada scheme. And this is one of the things that when I do my film breakdowns a little bit later this week, I'm going to show some of the stuff where you can see how the Matt Canada stuff that we hate at times actually is helping, even if we don't actually understand it. You know, I can show it to you and just kind of simplify it and stuff like that. So we'll definitely do that, man. But this is, like I said, this should be a good one for us. All righty. All right. And Jay Flame, you're right, man. No game is easy, man. No, this is the NFL. There is not going to be an easy game. But at the same time, this is a game that we should feel a lot more confident in. And I think that's the other part of this thing. You know, it's one thing to come in and we're feeling like, yo, this should be an easy opponent. We should blow them out. And then we get beat. We call them what? Tomlin games. This ain't the case, man. You know, this Colts team, man, they're good enough. Trust me on that, man. They're definitely good enough. And we've seen that with 2 games back to back. How they played the Raiders. And the Raiders were quote unquote supposed to be a bad team. And they won. But then you saw them play the Eagles, who's quote-unquote supposed to be a good team, and people talking about them being the NFC Super Bowl representative and all that other stuff, and they literally had them on the ropes. I think it was 3rd and 7 when they ran the quarterback draw for the touchdown. Like, that type of stuff. Like, they had a 40-yard PI penalty that flipped the field to, like, get them in possession to even get close, and that was after the Colts had the ball and turned it over. Like, this is this Colts team, man. I don't want to say they're good, but they're good enough. They're definitely good enough, man. So, definitely want to make sure we are doing our due diligence and giving them their respect right there. All right. Oh, and then AJ Martinez also pulled up, and he says, Moats bringing out the multitasking skills today. Yeah. But sometimes, man, you got to multitask, man. I'm a player that's more multiple hats, man. I like to bring versatility to the table. And it's what we do. You feel me? This is definitely what we do. And he also says, my daggone spell check is messing with my super chats. It's all good. It's all good. We ain't tripping at all. All right. So, to start talking about, well, man, I'm a little nervous to start talking right now. Dang. Got this little 7-minute window before I need to see if this dude's going to call or not. But you know what? Bump it. Let's just hop into this thing, man. And if he calls, he calls. And if he does not, he does not. All righty. So, when we're talking about some of the advantages of this matchup, Steelers and Colts, stuff like that, or excuse me, not just advantages, but just previewing the matchup and talking about some of the advantages and disadvantages I think the Steelers are going to face potentially on Monday night. The first thing, and I kind of already hinted to them when we were talking about the likes. Jonathan Taylor. Let's exclusively focus on this rushing attack right now. When you're talking about him, man, this is a dude that can get after it, man. He can run inside. He can run outside. He can catch the ball. Contact balance is there. Toughness is there. Finishes runs in a positive manner. Always falling forward. Can make you miss. Like, he is a challenge. Definitely a handful to deal with. He is your prototypical running back in today's NFL. The guys that have good speed, agility, but still decent size on them as well. When I see him, he is a big concern for me because of some of our inconsistencies with running backs this season. Some of them as traditional running backs, some of them like Samaje Perine through the air. But the thing that they're going to try to do is get him in space, get him isolated one-on-one with our guys, with your Myles Jack, with your Devin Bush, with your Robert Spillane. And when you talk about those 3 guys, they have been playing really well for us. But they're going to have to be, you know, not perfect, but really, really consistent, or a lot more consistent with their tackling. I thought last game they did do some good stuff, but we did have some misses out there, and it cost us at times, man. We also took some bad angles in some of the screen game, and that also put us in some bad positions, ultimately allowing them to get some touchdowns in terms of the Bengals offense because of some of our missed tackles and our bad angles in the screen game. So when I'm looking at Jonathan Taylor, he's definitely a big concern in that element because he is as good as advertised. And right now they are playing very motivated. Their offense line is blocking a lot harder for him. And those are the type of things that, to me, could present some challenges. Now, the other area that I do think we could potentially struggle with, should come as no surprise, but their wide receiver group, man. In particular, Michael Pittman. They have quality players, so you're not going to be able to just isolate all your attention or put all your attention on one player. Alec Paris Campbell, they're good players. They're good enough to get some attention. They're good enough that they can win their own share of one-on-ones. They're not as good as Michael Pittman to me, but they're still good players. But Michael Pittman, he is the X factor. He is the guy that, when you talk about wide receiver one, he has those characteristics. He has those traits. When you're talking about the just ability to create separation, you talk about the size. This dude's 6'4", 223, big body dude, consistent hands catcher. And even just on the year right now, just some of his numbers, 67 catches, that's 7th in the league right now. 668 receiving yards, that's 15th in the league right now. Now, he hasn't had a ton of touchdowns, but you can see the productivity. You can see, even with some of the up and down play that's been happening at quarterback, them switching out and stuff like that, he's still been their guy. And to add to it, yeah, he's on my fantasy team, so he's been helping me out a lot. So that's how I really know a lot about Mr. Michael Pittman Jr. Forgive me. Yeah, but he pretty good. For me, I think that we could struggle because how our secondary has played with those type of wide receivers. We obviously saw last week what T. Higgins was able to do, to an extent what Tyler Boyd was able to do. I feel like Michael Pittman is in that same class of wide receiver. In the sense of being a 1,000-yard guy, a guy that you could depend on, a guy that could be either a number one or a high-end number two. That's the thing when you're watching Pittman, man. This dude is just, he's going to be tougher to handle. And when I'm looking at our DBs right now, I'm asking myself, is it Cam Sutton? Is it Levi Wallace? Because, and I can't even just say them, because we know the issue that continues to pop up for us, along with, I don't want to call it stubbornness, but just the rules of our defense. We're not going to travel our corners. And if we're not going to do that, then we probably will get a lot of Michael Pittman in the slot. And that's the part that concerns me the most, because now we're going to go and have to relive potentially the scene from last week where we're getting Arthur Millette and some of these mismatches in the slot. So that's something that, I want to see if they go that route. How do we combat that? Do you treat it with the traditional double team in the sense of you make sure that safety is always going to be, following him around in that slot area when he's there, and you treat it as a double team just when he's there? When he's on the outside, you play it as normal. That might be something that they talk about. And I know it's something that they're capable of doing, but he's definitely a concern for me because of the way that receivers have been able to have some success on our corners at time this season. All right. Oh, and this is perfect timing too. So we're going to find out in about 60 seconds. If this phone start ringing, then we're going to go ahead and answer. If this phone don't start ringing, then we're going to go ahead and spin the block and start talking about some of the things that I do feel really good, though, about with our team. Actually, let me continue on, though, because we still got some time, man, until he Boy, I got nervous right there. I said that phone started to buzz. So hold on now. I wasn't ready. Yeah. Dang. All right. I think I'm good. Hopefully I'm good. We'll find out, though. But another thing, though, when we're talking about some of the disadvantages that I think we could have to worry about, and I don't fully anticipate it happening, but it's another thing that we should be cognizant of, is because of, once again, how our tackles have played. Specifically, Dan Moore, the game that he's coming off of, he's probably going to see a lot of Yannick Ngakoue. And like we talked about with Yannick, he is definitely more of a speed rusher exclusively at this point, but he is still developing. He is a guy that is still a good player. Don't get it twisted, but I think that this is a matchup that you know, and hopefully he can get some get back and get a little bit better, get more confidence up under his belt. But Yannick is coming in with 6.5 sacks, so obviously we know that's some productivity right there. But to me, I just want to see how Dan responds to last week, man, because that was different at times, man. The way that he was getting beat, in contrast to how it's been in the past when he would lose a certain type of guy. So I want to see just how he responds this week, man. But that's another thing that potentially could, like I said, man, cause some issues, because when he's able to, when their front is able to win, and at times they have had some success. When they are doing that, that defense is a lot better. When you talk about their secondary, they got good guys back there. And when their front is rushing at the level that they can rush at, it can make that defense a lot better than what they've been at times. But the consistency hasn't always been there. And that's been the thing with that team. It's funny, right? We talk about consistency a lot here in Pittsburgh, and our record reflects that. When you're talking about Indianapolis, it's very similar. Their record reflects it because it's legitimate, man. When you're a team that isn't as consistent as you need to be, you're going to deal with these up and downs where you can go toe-to-toe with a Eagles team, but you fall short. You can go toe-to-toe, get up and actually take care of business against the Raiders team. Like, you'll see that type of stuff, man. And their record, when you talk about 4-6-1, that's about right. Like, they're good at times, but they're inconsistent at times. They're good at times, but they're not all the way buttoned up at times. They're not as fundamentally sound at times. So it's a lot of that type of stuff that goes on when you're talking about this Colts team. So, like I said, with that pass rush, I think that's a direct reflection of that as well. So that's why we talk about it as potentially a disadvantage, but at the same time, we're not about to go in and get all crazy about it either. Now, for some fun stuff, some advantages that we should have. First off, our pass rush. We have to win up front. And there is no reason why we should not win up front, ladies and gentlemen. When we are looking at this Colts offensive line, it is pride for the taking, baby. The way they've been playing this year, it is perfect for this Pittsburgh Steelers pass rush, man. When you're talking about Alex Highsmith, I love the matchup against Bernard Raymond for him. When you're talking about TJ Watt versus Braden Smith, I love that matchup. We talk about Cam Hayward. He's historically matched up really well with Quentin Nelson. I want to see if that can continue, because Cam is also coming off a very impressive game against Cincinnati, man. I'm going to do a film session on him. But he brought some real positivity, man. It looked really, really good out there. So for me, man, when we're talking about our pass rush, I think that that's going to definitely be something that we can hang our hat on at times come Monday night. Then after that, man, when we're looking at the second thing, I think it's our pass defense, man. I personally feel like, excuse me, not our pass defense, their pass defense. Excuse me on that one. When we're running our play action pass versus the Colts pass defense, that to me is an advantage. I think that's something where they have struggled mightily in terms of defending the play action pass, in terms of some of the deep over routes, the middle of the field. I know that's something that we don't attack as often in Pittsburgh, but I will say, not for lack of effort. There's been plenty of routes since all this Matt Canada criticisms, plenty of routes that are in the middle of the field. We just need Canada to either see it faster or actually throw it. Those are some of the issues that are going on right there. But the Colts defense has struggled when you're talking about that play action pass or just them defending the pass. I think that is the way that you can have success against them. Philadelphia, we know how explosive they can be. We know how talented they are. But even still, I feel like we can do some of those similar concepts. Maybe not to the same extent, because we don't have the same Devontae Smith or A.J. Brown. Okay, cool. We got a George Pickens, though. He like that. Deontay's still nice. So it's like we got some pieces where I think we will be able to give them some challenges, but it's really going to be based on us being able to actually run this ball, because we should be able to. But if we can do that, that will open up a lot more of this play action pass stuff to attack that Colts defense. And also because, another reason why I feel like the play action pass will help too is with that linebacker situation, man. With no Shaq Leonard, it changes the ranginess of the interior part of their linebackers, man, in terms of the sideline, the ability to put a foot in the ground after you read play action and get up and wheel up and start cutting off some of those over routes, some of those crossing routes. Darius Leonard does a really good job of that. They don't have that right now. So that is definitely something that I think we'll be able to do to ultimately take advantage of them. But it really will be based on us running the ball. I think we should be able to run the ball. But once again, are we going to commit to it again? If we commit to it, I think we should have some success there. But we have to commit. And that's the thing, man, because Najee, the way that he ran last week, I like it a lot. Now, we'll see what Jaylen Warren's availability is, because obviously he was dealing with the hamstring. But the way that Coach Tomlin talked about it post-game made it sound as if it wasn't of the super serious variety, but we'll see what it looks like, man. I know they say he'll be day-to-day in practice, stuff like that, but if he's back, that ultimately adds another element to this offense. But I personally am not overly optimistic about it, but we will see how it goes, right, when the practice reports and stuff like that come out. But no, I'm definitely feeling good about the matchup in that capacity. Alrighty. So, this is typically where we do a little score predictions, huh? I think it's down that time, right? I feel like it's about that time. We'll go ahead then and drop them score predictions. Then let me see how y'all feeling today for this Steelers Colts matchup, man. Drop your score prediction in the chat. And after that, man, I'll tap into that. And then after that, tap into those score predictions. Then we'll tap into these supers and these regular chats. And I think I might have to, might mess around with the phone line or something like that today too, man. We'll see what the energy is, though, all right? We'll see how y'all feeling about it, how I'm feeling about it, and we'll go from there. But yeah, drop it in the chat what you think the score shall be on Monday Night Football. Hey, person says, I saw Arthur on the JMU broadcast. Well, shout out to you, man. I appreciate you tuning in. Had a blast doing it too, man. That's one of my passions, man. I just don't get a lot of opportunities, but every once in a while I do get a chance to hop up there, and it did feel good, baby. Alrighty. I see Mike Hood. He has it 31-10 for the good guys. Respect. We have a person also saying 20-9. Shout out. I'm assuming he's going with the good guys right there as well. Richard Stone, 20-17 Steelers. John Easton, 20-17 Steelers. Ooh, Rod Dollar got it 13-21 Steelers taking the L. Ooh, man, hopefully it's not too many more of them. We don't need any more of them now, all right? Because it's about that time. We got to get it going, but we got to get, if we're going to make a move, we got to make a move now, okay? If we're going to make a move, we got to make a move now. Cody James. All right, Cody James says 21-17 Steelers. Pick 6 from the defense, too. If we get one of them, man, that is major. Bust down. Oh, no. Has taken L. He has us taking an L 21-18. Oh no. Todd Sikowski has us 23-17 Steelers. Leah Warren has it 27-20 for the good guys. Respect. Justin Cross 20-34 for the Colts. Ooh, yeah. All right. Troy Gunter, 24-17. The Berg Boys. Respect. Olja. Hold on. Olja Gowanata Star. All right, let me see if I can say this right. Olja Gowanata Star, 26-20. Steelers. Calculated strike, 33-20. Steelers. Okay. All right. And then I will end it on my man Nick Y. Has it 31-13. Steelers. So, sounds like a good amount of people are feeling the Steelers in this matchup. I definitely like that. Yeah, this is one of those ones, man, where I was kind of going back and forth. I do feel really good about this matchup for the Steelers, but at the same time, I can understand why, people are not as optimistic. Number one, when you talk about that Colts team, good team, motivated team, but flawed. Talk about some of the issues at quarterback that they have, just inconsistencies there when Matt Ryan is under pressure, and he's under pressure a lot. His play just falls off a cliff when he is not able to take time, when he's not able to have it perfectly situated for him. When you talk about some of the other guys who can escape the pocket or has more mobility, can climb, can escape out the back door, things like that, Matt Ryan just doesn't give you that. But at the same time, he does give you some productivity. And with a receiver like Michael Pittman, I can see how they can move the ball. Jonathan Taylor, if he gets going, I can see how they can have some success. But ultimately, I do feel like this is one of those ones where our backs are against the wall, literally, man. We have to come out of this thing with a win if we want any hopes of salvaging this season and doing anything with it, regardless of what we think we are capable of or not. If we want to at least be in the conversation for anything later this season, this is one of those ones that we have to win. So with that, I do feel like Coach Tom is going to make sure that's communicated with this group, and on paper, this is a very favorable matchup for the Steelers. And why is that? They struggle to do something that we do really well. They struggle to protect the quarterback, and that's our niche. That's the thing that we can hang our hat on. That's the thing that has historically gotten us out of stadiums. And you're going to have TJ Watt being another week back in terms of getting back further in the game shape, further back accustomed to being back out there, further just getting his routine, knocking the rust off. I think that helps him. Talk about Alex Highsmith. Not only is he chomping at the bit to get double-digit sacks, but on top of that, he has a great matchup. So, to me, I do think the Steelers get the job done. I have it 24-23 Steelers. I think it is very, very close. I think for a good amount of times, it might even be the Colts with the lead. But ultimately, I do feel we get the job done, man, and we will take care of business on Monday night. So that way we're not up late and taking an L on top of that. So, definitely liking that. But we shall see, man. We shall definitely see. And that's the beauty of this thing, man, because these two teams, they're matched up pretty evenly. Like, we're going to do some things. We got some things that's going to definitely make them unsettled. It's going to keep them up at night. They got some things they can do that can make us a little bit unsettled. But at the end of the day, I do think the X factor on our sideline is Coach Tomlin. He's a guy that's been in these situations. He's a guy that's led a team through adversity before. He's a guy that's been doing this just for a long time. Whereas when you're talking about Jeff Saturday, he's still new. He's still figuring this thing out. He's learning how to motivate his troops off of a win and off of a loss. He saw how they responded after a win, and it was a positive response. Obviously, they weren't able to get the job done against Philly, but it was still good. But now you got to see how they respond after a loss. Now, they're probably over there saying the same things. Hey, man, it's a favorable matchup for us. We like the situation right here. We should be able to do this. Their offense line isn't as consistent. The D-line is really good, but, hey, man, at times they've been a little lackluster. We think we could throw the ball on them. Maybe we could run the ball on them. Like, they're going to have some similar things that we're going to be saying about them. They're going to be saying about us. But ultimately, I think the execution has to be there for us. And if it is, we take care of business. I do think also we have to continue protecting that ball. That was something that cost the Colts last week, man. Them putting that ball on the ground, man. You cannot do that. And actually, it was Jonathan Taylor that fumbled it at the end. You cannot put that ball on the ground if you're Pittsburgh, man. You got to protect the ball. Protect the ball, man. I feel like we take this and we feel good ending our Thanksgiving celebration and ultimately transitioning to the good old December. Yeah, the flu is never good for business. Never. You don't want that in your life. But alrighty. Let's see. We have Ryan McPherson. Ryan McPherson says, talent and potential-wise, do you think we are a better team than the Colts despite our record? I think so. It's a good question, man. Let's talk about it, actually. So when we're looking at quarterback, depending on how we're going to look at it, right? If we're talking short term, I like Kenny's athletic ability. I like that a lot more. I think that he's more talented at this stage, but the problem is I like Matt Ryan's mind, what he has seen, what he has forgotten, what he's been through at this level. So talent, I think we got the more talent, but they got the better brain in terms of the veteran quarterback. Running back, yeah, I'm rolling Jonathan Taylor over Najee. Wide receiver, wide receiver's kind of good, man. Wide receiver's good because they're Michael Pittman Jr. to George Pickens. I think we can wash because I'm sure they love Pittman. We love Pickens. Then after that, it's Deontay versus Paris Campbell and Alec Pierce. Oh, that's tough. You know what? It's two of them and one of him. So I guess we would have to side on them. Tight end, love us. Defense, I like us a lot more on defense. They don't have a TJ. They don't have a Minka. They got a Gilly, though. They got a Gilmore. Shaq Leonard's hurt right now, so they don't have a Miles Jack. Okay. I can see it. Yeah, I can see that. I can see us rolling with us in that. But it's close, though, and that's what I was saying, though, right? Because the offensive line, that's another thing. They got a Quentin Nelson. We don't have a Quentin Nelson on the offensive line, but I think their offensive line... No, they got a Quentin Nelson. I got to roll with them. All right. It's pretty even. It's close. It really depends on what position we're looking at. Because it's a lot of talent back and forth, man. Alrighty. But that was a good one right there. Ryan McPherson also says, I know it's off topic. Listen, nothing is off topic. It's the day before Thanksgiving, baby. We living our best lives, all right? We are living our best life today. Ryan McPherson says, I know it's off topic. So, answer when it's appropriate. But how can I get one of those Bumblebee jerseys of yours? I need another jersey aside from my number 7. It will either be KP8 or Moats if available. Nah, man. Well, first off, man, I definitely appreciate your support and your desire to rock with me like that, man. From the heart, man. It means a lot. In terms of the Bumblebee jerseys, yeah, I don't know right now, man. I know when I had reached out because they've switched the throwbacks that the teams are wearing, I don't think that they're even making the Bumblebees anymore. So that creates a issue. That creates a big issue. Yeah, if it was any other jersey, I'm like, oh yeah, that's easy, man. We definitely get that. But with the Bumblebees, yeah, I don't know where you're gonna find that just off the top of my head. Yeah, but I do appreciate the support though, man. From the heart. All right. Mike Hood says Steelers gonna ball out. D-line gonna go crazy after that L. Gonna take out some frustration on Indy. Now they definitely need to, man. And like I said, it's a very favorable matchup. They struggle to protect against the pass. Their run at time has been good, but it's been inconsistent. But the one thing that has consistently been bad for this team this year, and it's reflected with Matt Ryan's sack numbers as well, is the fact that their pass protection has not been as consistent as it should be. And part of that is also because of Matt Ryan not having the mobility back there. So he literally is a statue. So when you win your rush, it's not like when you're facing Zach Wilson and it's like, man, can we catch him? Can we get him down? It's not like facing Josh Allen. Can we get him down? It's not like you're facing some of these quarterbacks where you're like, man, he might take off and run. Shoot, even Mac Jones. It's like, man, this dude might run. That's not going to be the case this week with Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan, once you get pressure back there, even if you're bull rushing an offensive lineman back there towards him, he is not going to look to be a hero and try to extend plays with his legs, man. That's just not his game. So I do like that a lot for us. I think that's going to be a huge, huge asset, man. And Jacob Malicio, shout out to you as well, man. I see your birthday's tomorrow. Happy early birthday, baby, for the culture. And Jacob does have that Bumblebee jersey. Yes, that was actually one of my last ones that I gave out, man. So salute you. And then we also have calculated snipe. Prediction equals Kenny Pickett breakout game. 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. I like the balance right there because I was about to say, if we're going to only get 3 tutties, man, I would hope it would be 3-0. 3 tutties, no picks. But it's like, I could be a little real with it. I could be real with it. Man, we get 3 touchdowns out of him through the air, man. 1 pick, man. I think we live with that. Preferably no picks. Think he's had enough picks for all of us thus far. But nah, man, 3 tutties, man, or breakout game, that would be pretty dope, man. And he's capable of it. The big thing when when I watch Kenny Pickett, the big thing for him is just continuing to trust what he is seeing. He is seeing a lot. I think Matt Canada's done a good job at times of simplifying it for him these past couple of weeks, but Kenny has to trust what he's seeing. There are guys running open at the short, at the intermediate, and on the deep ball. There are guys that he has seen and he's just not throwing it, or he's seen it and he's missed on some of those throws. Some of the crossing routes, he's missed on some of those, especially last game. That's something that he could be a lot better in. But when you're talking about the capabilities of him having a breakout game, of him throwing multiple touchdown passes, absolutely he's capable of that, because you see the guys running free on the film. That's why when we come up here and we're on Mondays or Tuesdays and we're like, hey man, Matt Canada this, Matt Canada that, and I'm like, I don't really agree with you right now, because the tape is showing that's not the case. It's multiple guys that are open in all of those areas that we're looking to attack. It's multiple guys that are open in the areas that we want to be aggressive. Shoot. I know we criticized the flea flicker, right? After the George Pickens throw. Remember that last game, right? We threw the flea flicker after that and everybody went crazy. Bro, they're wide open. Wide open. The timing was off. I forgot who the tight end was on that play. He just gets beat by Trey Hendricks, by Sam Hubbard. And then from there, Sam Hubbard rushed into the backfield, hits off, I think it was Najee was protecting right there. And then that forced Kitty to just get rid of it. But it's like, man, even when it was schemed up, it was still perfect. Two dudes running wide open down the seam, man. So for Kenny, man, just got to keep trusting him, man. Keep trusting what he's seeing and actually cutting that thing loose. But if he does that, the 3 touchdowns that you're hollering about, that my dog Deke's done hollered about, and that all of the Kenny supporters are eager to see, I think it would happen, man. But it's going to be up to him to actually go out there and produce those type of results, man. But he's definitely capable of it based on what we are seeing on tape from him. Just need more consistency with that. I like that, though. I like that. Yeah, man, Jacob, man, you done turned the whole year, man. How are you turning, man? Drop it in the chat, Jacob. I need to know how you turning on this gobble day, man. Yeah, we try to see how old Jacob is, man. 43, man, more life, man. You on your Troy Polamalu. Let's get it. Nah, man, happy birthday, man. I definitely hope you enjoy yourself, man. Eat all the turkey that you want. In fact, man, yeah. Turn up all the way on your birthday. You're 43, man. You gotta do it. I'm talking turkey. I'm talking stuffing. I'm talking mashed potatoes. I'm talking candy yams. I'm talking bacon. I was about to say bacon biscuit. I don't need no bacon biscuit. But you thought bacon also was something. You know what I'm saying? It would be good. But the baked mac and cheese, what I meant to say. But either way, salute you though, Jacob, man, from the heart. All right. Oh, and definitely Big Gas. You already know. Galaxy Surfer. All right, and then AJ Martinez gave his score prediction. He says 17-14, a win in a sloppy game. Hoping to bring luck by saying we play sloppy on Monday night. I like the reverse psychology. Respect. And not only are we going to need the reverse psychology, we're going to need good psychology. We're going to need just good cheering as a whole. But I will say, we do typically fare well when we're playing Indianapolis and Indy. So I do like that a lot for us. And anytime it's been around the holidays, last time I was there on Thanksgiving, actually was playing on Thanksgiving, we won. It was a beautiful night. It was a beautiful day. Okay? So hopefully my guys will continue on with the tradition of kicking butt around the holidays, because that's what we love to do. But nah, man, I like this though, man. This was a vibe today, man. I wish my dog, would have been back healthy, but unfortunately, he's still down and out in terms of the homie Deke. So we're going to definitely send him all of our positive energy, thoughts, and prayers. Okay? But no, man. In terms of updates, we won't have another show the rest of this week. Obviously, I'm going to say my man Deke is under the weather, and I got to travel. But we will be back hopefully next week. I'll see, if it's solo or not. But worst case, we will at least have Space Talk on Monday and then go from there. But y'all stay safe out here, man. Definitely spend time with the people that make you feel good, man. Whether it's family, friends, whoever it is, man. And know that we are very thankful for y'all. I'm very thankful for each and every one of y'all that rides with us, man. Both on the solos, on the big pod joint, his podcast, everything that we do, man. We appreciate the support from each and every one of y'all, man. So, with that being said, man, y'all be easy. And until next time, baby. Peace.